Christmas season, or the weeks leading up to the day of Christmas in the Christian church, is known as Advent. You may be familiar with that term, or you may not really be familiar with that term. But here's the point: Advent, what is it? What's it about? Why is it important? Well, today we want to look at this season and look at what it means coming up. For centuries, Christians around the world have used the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas to prepare for the celebration of Jesus's birth. It's a time when we observe his first coming, and we also look forward to his second coming. In 4 weeks of Advent, there are some things that the church has concentrated on. There's some things that the church has really, some themes that have really been a focus. How we look at hope, and we look at the hope of Jesus's birth and what that meant, and the hope of his return. As we look at peace and the shalom that Jesus brings as he enters the world, and the shalom that we hope for in his second coming. And it's amazing because Jesus' birth is the arrival of something so grand and so special. Because the Hebrew Bible ends with God's people still waiting expectantly for the ultimate king, the anointed one that would bring peace into the world. In the book of Isaiah, we read the prophecy about the long awaited Messiah. And it says, and we read this a lot during the Christmas season: for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulders, and his name will be Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. When Jesus was born, angels announced his arrival on earth by declaring, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be to all people, for there is born to you this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. See, Jesus' arrival activated the promises of God and the prophecies of the Hebrew Bible. The gospel account declared Jesus to be God in human form. Jesus, the Son of God, who comes to earth to reconcile God's people back to their covenant, back to the partnership with God. Now, during Advent, we join in a centuries long tradition and we wait. Just like God's people eagerly waited the arrival of the Messiah, we remember their hope, and we still look forward to Jesus's final return, when he will reunite heaven and earth, and in the new creation he will initiate his full rule, because Jesus is the ultimate king who embodies God's peace, God's joy, God's hope, God's love, and who came to earth so that we may be united with God again. This is what Advent is all about: the love of God, the hope of God, the peace of God coming in, and coming in at a time where no one saw it. And that's what Jesus does. He comes in and he does a work. And so I pray that this Advent season, that this Christmas season, this end of year and going into a new year, you would look and you would celebrate Jesus's coming, and you would look forward to his return. I pray that you would live in such a way that you would recognize who Jesus is and what he is trying to do in this world, and that you would align yourself with the work of Jesus in bringing forth that hope, love, joy, and peace. I pray that you would always stay connected to the vine that is Jesus Christ himself, and we will see you next time.